Hi there, parents of sophomores at Half Moon Bay High School. I am Jim Toner, the English teacher for the sophomores, and I am loving it as somehow it works in this peculiar environment that we're all adapting to. So in this brief video, back to school video, I will tell you about myself, but mainly about the course and what it looks like to have one of these 50-minute twice a week classes, and also let you know certain tools you want to be familiar with, just to know what your child is up to and what their education is like. So my background is I'm from Cleveland. I went to college in Boston and then came to graduate school at Berkeley. While I was out here, I got a taste of California, and as many of us from the East Coast just couldn't leave it. So I became a high school teacher in San Francisco for about 6 years, then joined the Peace Corps for 2 years in Sri Lanka, wrote a book about that. When I returned, I became a teacher at a junior college in Sonora, Columbia College, and I was there for a long time, 25 years, retired, still wanted to teach high school because I love this level, wanted to be near the ocean in the Bay Area, so voila, here I am at Half Moon Bay. This is my second year here, and I am loving it. So that's a bit about me. Let me tell you about the class and the tools you might want to be familiar with. One is certainly School Loop. This is where I post announcements, assignments, but especially grades. At any time of day, you can find out where your child stands, what their grade is. So I have them do a lot, I grade a lot, I'm very efficient in grading things really quickly, and I post those grades so you know at any time where your child stands in terms of grade. So School Loop, you certainly want to know. The other thing is Google Classroom. This is where I organize the class. It's where the homework is posted. It's where the students submit their homework. This is the portal that we use a lot. And of course, the other thing we use is Zoom. It's not something you have to really see so much, but let me see if I can actually get this up here. Let's see. So it looks like this. This is weird. I have two images of myself. Um, High ego right now. So this is what it looks like. They see my face, and um, I can use all of these tools down here: polling, breakout rooms, chat rooms. It's pretty remarkable. It really is. This device, this technology that we have. So this is how we do class on Zoom, and then I can get rid of this here. And then we toggle from there to, just a moment, uh, we can toggle from Zoom to Google Classroom and to a slideshow. And I'll show you that now. This is how I organize each class. And this is the class I just had the other day. So because it is just 50 minutes, we have to be pretty efficient. And to do that, I create a slideshow, and I put this on Google Classroom for every class. You can certainly take a look at it to see what we're up to. So we run through this in 50 minutes. I give them an agenda, any announcements we might have, and then I always do some kind of technical thing, some kind of mechanical thing. Lately, it has been sentence fragments and really pushing verb tenses. So these are mistakes that I'm seeing occur a lot in the writing of these students, and I try to address it in a general way, and then as I get their papers, I really zero in on these mechanical things. So there is a YouTube tutorial for each of these things that I'm teaching them, and then I put these on a folder on Google Classroom they can refer to. Plus, when I grade their papers, if I see a particular error, I will give them the link to fragments, run-ons, dialogue, whatever the issue might be. So I do that. A mechanical thing. And then we do lots of writing. It is sophomore year. The standards for sophomore year has us do all kinds of writing, narrative, short stories, a lot of essays. So what I've had them do in the first 6 weeks is a lot of writing. And I should say that if I have a specialty, it is in writing. When I went to Berkeley, my teacher was a guy named Jim Gray, who originated something called the Bay Area Writing Project. He figured out, how do you teach writing? And from there have come all of these um, satellite courses throughout the world, really, on Bay Area Writing Project. So it started at a little office in Berkeley, has really gone around the world. So I was there at the infancy of that, and it's really informed the way I teach writing. Plus, I write myself, and I have that kind of insight. Plus, I was a college teacher, so in 2 years, when the students are in college, I really do know the kind of writing that they need to do to be successful there. The main thing is get them to write a lot and to enjoy writing. So at the start of this year, I've had them write a lot of stories without a whole lot of instruction, a little bit about characters and dialogue, but mainly just getting stuff out here. And now I'm going to really zero in on particular skills for them. While I'm doing this, I'm also like really gradually teaching the mechanical things. So we've been doing a lot with larger stories, which they wrote here, and then smaller stories. I think I will mention right here. I'll show you something if I can find it. So they submit their papers to me, their longer paper or any kind of papers, and I give them feedback on it. And it's on Google Classroom, and I can do this here where I highlight certain things and I put comments over here. I put links for things they need to work on, and then they get this back, and then they resubmit it to me, and I can see if they've made corrections, and we go back and forth with that. Really efficient. Meanwhile, I have another computer open, my laptop, and I am making notes of the things I'm observing in their papers that I can particularly help them with. So all 100 and whatever I have, 48 of my students, I have a particular diagnosis and what I want to work with them throughout the year. Okay, so those are the larger stories and also how I grade. Meanwhile, I'll kind of zip through this. On Google Classroom, we walk through, I'm sorry, on the slides here, we walk through what we're doing for that day. Most recently, we are really zeroing in on descriptive writing using senses, being more detailed, and so I use different techniques for that and different topics that we've been working on. One has been looking at vehicles, which shows you this is a hippie vehicle by the visual things, by the any food, any smells, any sounds. I don't know if there's anything tactile there. So we do that, and they respond to it really quickly. And then I moved into a scary room here, and this is what they did. It's really fantastic. I wanted to show you this, where I create for them. Actually, to step back a bit. When it comes to writing, you want to break it up into stages. It's a real process, and the first stage is to gather information, whether it's through talking or through free writing or through brainstorming. There's all kinds of methods. What you don't want is just write your story, because then you freeze up and you get writer's block. So there's a real sequence to things. So the first one is to generate ideas, and I'm using the tools of Zoom and Google Classroom to get them to interact. That's a challenge with the Zoom world, is how can we break them out of their little cells into an interactive community. So one way I do it, just wanted to show you this as one example, where I put them into these rooms, breakout rooms on Zoom, and in this case, 5 different rooms, and each room would have a particular task to, in this case, come up with what are some specific sounds you would find if you walked into a scary attic or basement or room. And so they would write this down here, and as they're writing, I can check in with them and to see what it is they're doing, and I can encourage them a little bit here. So these are the 5 senses to correspond with the five senses. And so we do this, and then we come back and we talk about it, and then I move them to the next stage, which is to do this here. This is what they're working on as of today, this Wednesday. Again, whatever I can come up with for pre-writing before they actually write. So here is a little a sense chart, and then they fill these in with what specific senses, what specific things are they detecting with each sense in a certain place. So they do that, and then they convert it into a small paragraph. And we're going to be working on this for a while here. So this is giving you an idea of how the writing is kind of working. Beyond writing and beyond the mechanics is literature. And this is sophomore year, and we have world literature is there's an anthology, and it's just fantastic, where we are exposed to a lot of different types of writing from around the world, plus different styles of writing. So we have this anthology that we are using, plus 4 books, 1 per quarter. That's the requirement for sophomores. Currently, we're doing Lord of the Flies, classic book. And as I have them read it, I give them lots of questions that they find on Google Classroom, which would be, where would that be here? Sorry for a moment here. So right here on Google Classroom, they have certain homework that they have, and this is exactly what they have this week that they're working on. They open it up, and the questions are here, and then they turn it in right here as well. And these questions, I try to involve their own life, to have them think about, hey, if you were on a tropical island, what would you be good at? Building shelters, making a fire, hunting for pig, that kind of thing. But also trying to get them to have insights into the character and the plot and the setting. And eventually we'll write essays about that here. So that's pretty much it. Let's see if there's anything else I've missed here. Just to summarize, you want to know School Loop, you want to know Google Classroom, you might want to know Zoom. That's what I use here. If the syllabus, if you want to see more details, it is on Google Classroom. So that's about it. In general, I'll just say that I'm wildly enthused about teaching your children. I love sophomore, that age, that particular age, and then this curriculum that I have the honor to teach is fantastic. And just to add that I am finding the challenges of Zoom to actually bringing out lots of benefits. You know, there is the class management is a huge thing at high school level. Having 35 kids in one room at the end of the day is tough. This is giving us a different environment, and I'm finding that it works in a lot of ways here. So that's my overview. Thanks for letting me be the teacher of your children. It's a great honor and privilege for me. So I'm hoping that we get a chance to meet somewhere down the line. Until then, you can certainly contact me at any time through the school email. Thanks, parents. Bye.